Hello and welcome then to our local to global series here on RWR. We are of course playing as the Random Wrestling Revue. That is review with the REVUE as opposed to VIEW. Did I even spell those two things right? I don't even know. We are continuing directly on from episode 12 today because we are looking for wrestlers who can be our guest tag team. Brian Christopher might be an option, though he's pretty expensive. I mean, we might have to accept an expensive couple of wrestlers here if we're going to do what we want to do, which is bring in a couple of guys that are somewhat known by independent wrestling fans, I suppose. How about Dory Funk Jr.? A $2,000 per show. I don't think we're going to go for him. We could go for the Dudley Boys, but they would be a heel team, I think. They're not exactly what I'm looking for. We are kind of supposed to be a family friendly promotion as well. So I'm not sure that they really work in that regard. But maybe as a last resort, I'm just having a look. I mean, there's Jeff Hardy, but again, obviously a lot cheaper than most. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's really what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for a team that are kind of on the way up. I'm kind of looking for a team on the way down. And that's just what I envisage really here, because I don't tend to keep them on for any length of time after this point. Uh, There's Luke Williams, and he's retired. So the Bushwhackers are definitely out of the question. I could do Jeff and Matt Hardy, I suppose. They are there. They are available. Sorry about this. It's going to be so it won't be so interesting. Moondog Rex and Moondog Spot. No, that's not going to work. One of them is not wrestling anymore. Not going to go for the gangsters. Tanaka and Paul Diamond could come in, but they really are more of a heel tag team, which is not really what I'm looking for either. I'm kind of looking for a babyface team to do this. Um, so that's not going to work for me. Goodness, we are a little bit of trouble here. I'm not really sure who we're going to get. Um, just looking through, I think we may have to end up doing the Dudleys, which is not really what I'm looking for. There's not a huge amount available to me at this point. I mean, Tom Zenk, Tito Santana. If Rick Martel is anywhere, then I might have my team. Oh man, he's not there. Rick Martel is not available. What is he doing? Let's just reset that. What is Rick Martel doing? Is he even on the game? Yes, he is. Exclusive written deal with WCW. Of course, that's what he's got. Of course, he's got that. Um, okay, that's really frustrating. Strike Force would have been great. That would have been exactly the kind of thing I was looking for. I mean, we could do Tito Santana and Tom Zenk, cut out the middleman and call them what would that be? The Mexam connection. I'm tempted to do that. At the moment, that is looking like the best option I've got. The one I like best, but I bet you Tito Santana is very expensive. Yeah, 1,500 per show. Yeah, that's probably too much. That is probably too much, given that I want to use him at least on one show, possibly on two. And I still haven't planned out this tournament, by the way. I haven't decided who's going to win. And we're now in the episode itself, so that's going to be a bit of pressure for me to do on the fly. Um, oh, what do I want to do here? How do I want to approach this thing? Ricky Steamboat not working anymore. And very expensive, I imagine. Only 800 per show. What a shame he's not wrestling anymore. We could do Perry Saturn. We could do Perry Saturn and John Cronus, I suppose, the Eliminators. They're a little bit. They're not quite what I was looking for. I'll be clear, or I'll try and be clear anyway. I was looking for a team that could just be a bit of a, not a comedy thing, but just a real nostalgia hit and a babyface nostalgia hit. I just don't think there's anyone available in that exact um yeah, in that mold. And not really seeing an abundance of other options at this point. As I say, the Dudleys are one. Oh, this is not good. Jericho's available, as is Lance Storm. That could be a good team. Oh yeah, Jericho's way too expensive. Christian Cage. Yeah, I mean, again, I could bring him in Edge in Sexton Hardcastle. They're both there, but it's not really the kind of team I was looking for. As I said, I'm looking for a team that I can bring in for 2 shows. They raise a smile. At the moment, I'm tempted still, even though it will be very expensive, to bring in Tito and Tom Zenk, because that was as close as I've seen to the kind of thing I'm looking for. Just going to go through this one more time just to make sure there's nothing else that I could do. Jacques Rougeau, the Mountie. Uh, would he be under PCO? I don't know what he'd be under, but he doesn't seem to be there anyway. Where'd I go? Jacques Rougeau was what I was looking at, wasn't I? Um, yeah, I just don't think I'm going to find the thing I'm looking for, which means that we need to go with an alternative. And I still think that Tito and Tom Zenk is our best option. How much is Coco per show? 1,000. I could go with Coco Beware and Tito Santana, though not a tag team, obviously. Really, in truth, you could see them as a sort of former WWF babyface stars coming in to be a tag team. Just drank some tea and spilled it all over me. Luckily, it wasn't hot of any kind, but it went everywhere. That's how homed in I am on this. Ray Rougeau's not a wrestler. If he was a wrestler, I'd have brought in the Rougeau brothers. I'm not even joking. If he was still even like occasional wrestler, I would have been like, yeah, let's bring them in. That would work. I mean, Rocco Rock and Johnny Grunge. He's pretty cheap. Rocco Rock and Johnny Grunge is pretty cheap. I mean, the problem is they are the world tag team champions. I'm going to do them. I'm going to bring in Rocco Rock and Johnny Grunge. I'm just going to check their availability though, because see Saturdays they do ECW Hardcore TV, so they won't be available. So that's that. I mean, I could change the day, but I guess if they just because we're doing 2 nights, so it could be the Friday and the Saturday, and they could work that. That's what I'm going with. Johnny Grunge. I think it's high time that I made the decision, and he's going to be coming in, as will Rocco Rock. And they're not stupidly expensive either. They're more expensive than the vast majority, well, all of our wrestlers, but they're not too expensive. So now I've got to find a couple of other guys that I want to bring in that are going to be sort of more regular on the roster. I mean, I guess we're at the point as well where we can start to bring in, um, you know, that wasn't what I meant to do. When we start to bring in sort of, yeah, better, bigger names, or at least names that, are bigger now. They wouldn't necessarily be bigger then because we're not limited to the geography that we were limited to at the start of the show, where we were only bringing people in from the northwest or the southwest. So I um, could bring some, other people in. They're a bit more, and Shane Helms is someone that I could bring in. He could be a baby face, and we want to heal as well. How about the Vampire Warrior? Bit expensive for someone I'm going to use regularly. Tajiri, 90 per show. Where's he based? Where is Tajiri based? No, too far. The travel costs would be too much. So I'm tempted to bring in Shane Helms, but the problem is I have quite a lot of. Well, I've got two underdog type baby faces, so I think Shane Helms would just add to that. So maybe I don't really want him either. Sorry about this, guys. It's going to take some time today, just deciding on whom we're going to bring in. And this is the problem with the bigger amount of options that we've now got. So Charlie Haas, I'm going to bring him in. I don't know whether as a babyface or a heel yet. That will depend on what else I can get. I think at the moment I'm thinking babyface for Charlie Haas, just a sort of good technical wrestler, and then yeah, I think that makes sense. How about C.W. Anderson as well? Kind of bully. I'm going to go for him. I'm going to bring in C.W. Anderson. Yeah, let's bring him in. Cool. So that is all the people I want to bring in for the final this next show. So the final show, not even close to the final show, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 plus the 4. That's 16. We're good to go. So I just need to put in those events now. Super Summer Tag Team Extravaganza. Oh, I can't make it long enough. Oh, that's really annoying. Um, Super Summer Tag Team. I can take out team, but still not going to be enough. Day one. Yeah, I can't make it longer than that. I think what we'll do is we'll call it the SSTT Extravaganza Day One, and it's going to be for the moment an hour and 30 minutes, but maybe next year we'll make it longer. Annual Friday Week 2, which means that the Public Enemy can actually work. And then we're going to do another one, which is day 2 of the same show, and it's going to be Saturday, week 2 in August. And so those two shows are in the book. We're gonna go for it now. We're gonna try and move towards it. That took me a lot longer than I wanted it to. Apologies for that, but it was important. We had to do it. Um, so we're going to go to the next player controlled show, which is obviously in a couple of weeks' time. Now I need to consider what the hell is going to happen in the tournament because I did have a kind of sort of idea, but yeah, I haven't matched everybody up. Oh, we've got a problem with the game. That's not good. Oh, well, Let's just see if that becomes a permanent problem. 1 second. Okay, so some of these wrestlers we've just rebooted the game. Some of the wrestlers have signed. Let's just hope that is not a problem. Let's hope that's not a permanent problem that will break my ability to play the game and this save that we've got going on. And apologies if the screen is a little bit strangely positioned after that. Um, well, the game seems to still be going. We seem okay, so I'm going to keep going with this and just hope that we are able to keep going. So yeah, I've got an idea for a couple of the matches or a couple of the things that we're going to do. I mean, Public Enemy need to lose. That's the thing I'm aware of is they need to lose because they're not going to be available on the Saturday, and they're going to have to face a babyface team when they have to face a heel team when they lose. So who's it going to be? Um, yeah, I'm not sure at this point in time. Maybe. Oh, I don't know. Who do we bring in again? Charlie Haas and who else was it? Oh, Charlie Haas and C.W. Anderson, wasn't it? I mean, I guess I also need to think about who they could possibly team with. Who do we bring in as well? Last month we brought in somebody. Oh, my mind is all over the place. Let's have a look at this roster. So it's a bigger roster now than we've ever had by some considerable way. Of course, we got James Storm, didn't we? So I'm wondering if Public Enemy could face James Storm and C.W. Anderson. That might be my decision going with those. Um, we need a tag team here that can go to the final. This is really hard. This is really hard to think through, especially under pressure, as I feel like I am right now. Uh, so we want them to have a bye. So I'm going to talk a little bit. Yeah, not sure what I'm going to do. And I think there may be a parcel just arriving for me, which is going to make things a little bit complicated too. So give me a second. So the way I want to do the tournament is that Bad Crew are going to win it. They're going to go right to the final and win it. They're going to beat in the opening match or opening round, sorry, Blitzkrieg and Buddy Wayne, who have teamed together before and therefore are one of the highest, or one of the big favourites as well. Public Enemy are going to lose. I also want Bad Crew to have a bye through to the final after the first round. So I'm very quickly running out of teams and running out of scenarios. So Public Enemy, I'm not going to have them against James Storm and C.W. Anderson. I've changed my mind on that. They are going to face a team of Ed Moretti and Dave Batista. They will face in the second. They're going to face in the semi-final. Okay, This is starting to come together now. But in some ways, it's starting to come together. In another way, it's not coming together quite so much in my head. Okay, Stasiak and Wellington Wilkins Jr., who Moretti and Batista are going to face. And they're going to beat James Storm and C.W. Anderson, maybe, in that one. So who does that mean we have going through? No, that's not what I was going to do. James Storm and C.W. Anderson are going to be one of the teams who are in the double elimination because to create the bye for Bad Crew. So they need to be up against a reasonable babyface team because I'd like to make a bit of a feud out of that too. So how about we have ECMO and Charlie Haas become a team? I don't know why. Let's just do that. Stasiak and Wellington Wilkins Jr. therefore are left with Ace Steel and not Wellington, Kid Chaos. So that's okay. I've got a first round. Apologies again if that was really really, I was doing all that off screen, but I had to do some thinking there, and the only way I could do it was to write it down. And yeah, so we've got the RWR SSTT Extravaganza Day 1, first round of the tournament. So we're going to have all tag team matches here. I think the opener is going to be Sean Stasiak, Wellington Wilkins Jr., Ace Steel, and Kid Chaos. And each of these matches can go a little bit of time as well. I think the winner is going to be Stasiak, loser Kid Chaos. And that's good because obviously Stasiak and Steel are in a feud, so that's perfect as well. It's just another match in their feud. I mean, it's almost as if I planned that, but I promise you I did not. And they can work the crowd for this one as well. We are going to add this as a title as well. Create title. Super Summer Tag Team. Extravaganza. Yes, fits. Tag Team Annual Competition. Always 2 versus 2. Held at day 2 of this. Cool. Okay, so we have our tournament title in place as well now. So then the second match, I think, will be James Storm and C.W. Anderson against ECMO and Charlie Huss. As I said, I don't really know why. I don't really know why. Let's just say that I don't really know why, but that's how we're going. It's going to be a time limit draw, 20-minute time limit for each of these matches, and we'll have this storytelling as well, and probably a slow build given that we're 20 minutes we're given to this match. So it's another match. Then we've got Public Enemies match. Of that, we haven't done created any of these as teams, have we? So let's at least add Bad Crew and also let's also add Public Enemy. Or Public Enemy and Bad Crew are now in there. But we're gonna have Public Enemy next. And they're going up against Ed Moretti and Dave Batista. And Moretti and Batista are going to win this one. I think I'm going to give Batista the win. And the loser, I mean, it doesn't really matter, but we'll go with Johnny Grunge. And that'll do them. Johnny Grunge is very unhappy. And you know what? I don't mind changing this in terms of giving them some protection. But if they don't like me giving them the protection, so I'm going to keep Johnny Grunge strong. Well, if he doesn't like it, then I will just go straight ahead with the match. But as he's okay to do it in that respect, that's fine. And then we have the other tag team, Dog and Rose, and they will go up against Buddy Wayne and Blitzkrieg. So obviously the world champion, and as to this point being his friend, will go up against Bad Crew. But I think I'm going to have. Oh yeah, I think I have Blitzkrieg lose. Tainted win, pinfall finish. Okay. They're going to struggle in a match of that length. How about we go 13 minutes? Oh, they're really not good, these two, these two guys. To be honest, I could probably get it down to 10 because we've got, yeah, I only need 3 more minutes to proceed. So, how about that? What I'm also going to do, though, is have the Public Enemy do a little bit of something before their match. Public Enemy are revealed as the guest tag team for tonight. For the tournament. I want to give away the result. And they just kind of come out and have some fun. So yeah, the idea is here that they've been. It's been revealed that we're going to have a guest tag team, but it's not revealed who it's going to be, and then it is revealed. Yeah, in this show, and also we're going to have a new storyline. So we're going to end the Blitzkrieg Moretti storyline, which came to an end with their most recent match. Instead, we're going to have Bad Crew versus Blitzkrieg and Wayne. Rose and Dog. So there we go. Bad Crew versus Blitzkrieg and Wayne. We've still got Tazek and David Sister and ECMO. Yeah, they're not in a match with each other, which is maybe a shame. Because I wanted to do this as a sort of thing. Maybe we'll do something with them anyway after this, but that's fine. Talking in riddles again, I apologize. That's just how my mind, that's how I vocalize my mind's thoughts. They're moving too fast for me to articulate everything. But this is the first night of the Super Summer Tag Team Extravaganza, and it looks like we're only going to get the time for this one show today. So obviously we'll have to move on to the next one in the next episode. So just check the booking analysis, all fine. Let's go then. 71 people, a new record for the company. Sean Stasiak and Wellington Wilkins Jr. against Ace Steel and Kid Chaos as the opener, and it's a decent match, a 26 rated match. Goes for 13.49. Stasiak and Wilkins Jr. win. That's Wellington Wilkins Jr.'s first victory in RWR. He gets a 19 performance, but Stasiak a 29, Ace Steel a 28, Kid Chaos an 18. So it's clear to see who the kind of talented individuals in this one were, and obviously that also continues the Stasiak Steel feud. So that's nice. It's an extra added bonus. Those Stasiak and Wellington Wilkins Jr. advance to the semi-final, which will take place on night 2, as will the final. Dreamstorm and CW Anderson face ECMO and Charlie Haas. A segment rating of 15 here as a 20-minute contest when the time limit expired. And guess who forgot to do anything with CW Anderson and Charlie Haas? I really hope that they are on the right sides of the aisle. I don't think they will be, but I will figure out somehow to get them into the right place. It just wasn't concentrating at all. I didn't even check if Public Enemy were baby faces either. I was just so het up with trying to get this whole thing on. But anyway, CW Anderson, an in-ring performance of 19, James Storm at 23, Charlie Haas at 22, ECMO at 21. In fairness, ECMO's performance was again a slight improvement on the last one. Anderson's initial gimmick rating is great, and Charlie Haas is adequate, so that's not bad. Let's just hope they're on the right sides of the aisle in terms of babyface and heels. But anyway, those two go to a 20-minute time limit draw and are both eliminated from the tournament. Then we get Johnny Grunge and Rocco Rock kind of revealed as the guest tag team in the tournament. They both have gangster gimmicks, which is fine. They would keep whatever gimmicks they had elsewhere. And they were both awful or poor. Johnny Grunge worked the crowd well, using freedom to improvise to his advantage, and Rocco Rock improvised well throughout the segment. Apparently, I've also stopped being able to talk properly. This was one of the best rated segments we've ever seen in the company. Not quite as good as some of Sean Stasiak's talking segments, but still pretty good. Then the match, Ed Moretti and Dave Batista defeat the Public Enemy in 13 minutes 19 seconds when Batista pins Johnny Grunge. Both the Public Enemy had quite decent in-ring performances. Batista 22, Ed Moretti 26. Not a disaster. A segment rating of 24. And that means that Moretti and Batista are the ones who benefit from. No, sorry, they go through to the semi-final and will face Stasiak and Wellington Wilkins Jr. in semi-final number 1. Then in the main event of tonight's show, it's a 27 rated match as Bad Crew defeat Blitzkrieg and Buddy Wayne in 9:49 when Dog pins Blitzkrieg after using a foreign object. So there you go. They are capable of doing a slightly different finish now and again. I was complaining about that on the last episode, I believe. And you can see here, Rose and Dog are terrible, a 14 and a 16 in terms of their in-ring performance. Buddy Wayne, meanwhile, got a 27. Blitzkrieg a 35, which I believe is the best individual performance in a match we've seen. Dog was really off his game as well. Bad Crew are not good in the ring, which is something that I should have probably realised, but a segment rating of 27 anyway is pretty good. And that's the end of the show. An overall rating of 27. I think that's the best rated show we've ever had, despite how poor Bad Crew were in that main event. They still managed to get a main event that allowed us to achieve our best individual rating. In terms of the speech, so I think I need to praise Sean Stasiak. I need to praise Ace Steel because they were really good in the opener. And I need to praise Blitzkrieg because he is easily the best wrestler we've got at the moment. And they're all happy and pleased with the speech that I gave. And that is the end of today's episode. We're going to obviously have to cover the second night in our next episode. Wellington Wilkins Jr.'s got a booking complaint. I mean, he just won for the first time in his career in the company. So now's not the time to complain, mate. Now's the time to get on board and get excited for what we've got coming up for you. Yeah, we'll bring you the semi-final and final. Obviously, we've only got one semi-final because Bad Crew will automatically get a bye to the final. and we've got the other semi-final will be ECMO and no, will be public will be Ed Moretti and Dave Batista against Sean Stasiak and Wellington Wilkins Jr. That's to come in our next in the next episode of this series. In the meantime, give us a like, give us a subscribe, and thank you for joining us today. Catch you next time.